That's good. Thank you.
That's great.
People back in the East Coast will ask that question. I don't know how it was suggested that it passed.
Oh, isn't that funny? It's so nice to meet you. And there are so many changes going on. Gabriel's Fire, the name has changed, the premise has changed, but you're still here, and that's good.
Yeah, out of the flame rises the phoenix.
Yeah.
Not only myself, but also Josephine is coming back in Pros and Cons.
Great.
I love the title, by the way. Richard Crenna, by the way, is going to be the other private investigator, and he's the pro and I'm the con. Gabriel's background is retained. I'm still Gabriel Bird from Gabriel's Fire.
Still filled with so
Chicago.
much angst as a character, or is this a little lighter?
Well, I wasn't all that in love. I mean, Gabriel has lived with that angst for 20 years, and I wasn't all that in love with it. But a lot of the writers wanted to keep peppering it in, and I hope we get off that now.
Okay.
I want this guy to grin a lot, smile a lot.
Do you?
And even in the face of adversity. And I think the kind of relationship that I can have with Richard Crenna and his character will give us much more crackle.
You and Richard really are both legitimate actors.
Oh, yeah, is he ever.
This gives you a lot of opportunity, I would imagine, to work with two talents getting together.
Mind you, the young team from Gabriel's Fire were also all legitimate actors. They were all New Yorkers, stage actors, with immense training. But there was something wrong with the premise of how we all got together. The lawyer's office and my world never quite, well, I won't waste time talking about that, but
you're excited
they never
about
quite
it.
got together, yeah.
You think this new adventures with Pros and Cons will have different qualities that the audience will like, huh?
I think there's a chance for, I won't call it humor, but a chance for more resilience to happen between Richard and me, regardless of how serious the case is.
Sounds really good. You know, in reading about you, James, it's so hard to believe that at one point as a child you had such a serious speech problem you had to actually write to communicate.
I'm a stutterer. I always will be a stutterer. And you'll hear it occasionally. You just heard it,
Where did it come from? You had some personal scars as a child. Did it come from that?
Who knows? It comes from the brain. It comes from you chip. It's like you literally chip on the sod here. The electrical system chips.
But they weren't easy beginnings for you. I mean, I read when you got to the University of Michigan, you felt big, shy, and ugly. And I'm sure a lot of kids don't have a lot of confidence in themselves, but it sounded like you.
I'd come from a farm.
Yeah.
And an agricultural high school that had 17 in the graduating class. So Ann Arbor was...
Ann Arbor's a great town.
Yeah.
Were you grateful?
Getting greater.
Were you grateful for your grandparents being there for you?
I'm grateful for the life that I had. That certainly was, because of them and included them, my grandparents, and the farm, being raised on the farm.
It's wonderful.
And for all the schools I ever had a chance to go to.
You connected with your dad. You didn't see him as a kid, but you connected with him, and it sounds like you have a great relationship as adults.
We keep connecting. We're friends.
Are you?
There's no way to retrieve a lost parent-child relationship, and it's folly to try to do it. By the way, I wouldn't advise it. You meet that person one-on-one, and you find out who that person is, find out who you are, independent of that mythological blood relationship, because it is mythological. I don't know. I guess you could trace some genetic influences, but there are no sentimental influences, and that shouldn't be allowed.
You have an 8-year-old son.
Yeah.
I'll bet there are things you're trying to capture in that relationship that maybe you didn't have as a kid.
No. I don't think it's a good idea to base one relationship on what did or did not happen in another. For instance, I don't think Oedipal is a lot of bull. The idea that you pursue a woman because of what you did or didn't get from your mom. Well, what else is there to do? It's not a matter of comparing, No, Glenn and I are relating. He's a very strong individual already. Came out that way.
Great.
And it's what's going on between him and me, not the past, not the future.
Isn't that great? Take your time to get there, to that point, to reconcile all of that in your head, and to feel that way?
It was reconciled very early.
Very early,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
You know, Great White Hope, you had them on their feet every single night. Fences, I mean, such an incredible Othello performance. I mean, you are so good. I mean, do you miss the legitimate theater as you work in this world of television? Do you miss certain aspects of that?
I miss it, but you know what? I bet something it doesn't miss me. That's one of the ironic things, you know. I was surprised that there was even any question. I'm surprised you're bringing it up right now.
Why?
Who cares, really?
I
No,
care.
The stars, we're all interchangeable light bulbs. You plug one in, plug one out, you know. That's true. I'm a realist. I'm not being cynical now. I'm a realist. Because the industry does go on. It all goes on.
Amazing when during the Persian Gulf War, almost every single night, your voice was in our houses. I mean, you are the voice of CNN.
This is CNN.
Yeah, that's you.
I rely on it heavily. I was just in Mexico doing some work, and I couldn't wait to get back to the TV set to see what was going on.
Oh, I know.
Because I couldn't read the papers or, you know.
I know we've all become addicted to CNN and hearing
Why
your
not?
voice. Yeah, pros and cons. So you're really looking forward to this, huh?
Yeah.
That's great. We are too. Thanks, James.
Thank you.
Really nice to see you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You did a unique interview.
Pardon? When you performed Moon on a Rainbow shawl with your dad, was that an amazing experience to do?
Yeah,
that?
it was, yeah.
Well, it sounds like there are lots of changes for you this year, huh? With the new show, Pros and Cons? You know, it's really hard to believe that at one point in your life you had such a terrible speech problem you had to write to communicate. Did it take you a lot of time in your life to get to that point, to reconcile all of that in your head? You know, you had them on your feet, oops, let's do that again. You had them on their feet every night for good.